Hey, this is day one of 30 Days of Vision. And this is kind of a chain reaction of our trip to Nicaragua. One of the things we hope to do down at Esteli, Nicaragua, working with Youth for Christ in that region, was to work with the local Youth for Christ people in inspiring them to pursue the vision of Youth for Christ, to understand how they fit into that vision of capturing a city for the Lord, and to encourage them to pursue the vision with Youth for Christ mission in mind. I realize that sometimes I haven't done the best job at informing all of our volunteers and donors and supporters and various people what our vision is and how we plan on pursuing it. So over the next 30 days, that's going to be my job. I'm going to talk about the vision. I'm going to talk about our vision. I want to talk about the mission, how we work out the mission here at Youth for Christ. And I'm sure you all know it. Every volunteer, every staff member, every board member knows it. But our vision, the vision of Youth for Christ, is this. And it says it just like this. The vision of Youth for Christ is as a part of the body of Christ to see every young person and every people group and every nation have the opportunity to make an informed decision to be a follower of Jesus Christ and to become a part of the local church. Um, that's been the vision of Youth for Christ for all the years that I've been working with them, and I love that vision. And I want to talk about it in a few phases, and I want to talk about our vision. I want to talk about the Youth for Christ mission, how we pursue that mission. So that's what's coming up over the next 30 days, a little at a time, maybe 5 minutes at a time. We're going to pursue understanding this vision. But today I want to talk about one thing and one thing in particular, and that thing is this: every. Uh, that's what I'm after. Every kid on the face of the planet. I don't know how many that is. I can tell you in the United States there's 50 million teenagers. And if you think about it too much, that number may overwhelm you. Man, well, how can I go after 50 million teenagers? How can Youth for Christ Roxborough go after 50 million teenagers? Well, the good news is we don't have to. We're part of Youth for Christ, who is working together with the local church. So even on just the scale of our nation, which can be very frightening, 50 million sounds big, but it doesn't intimidate me in the slightest. You all know the old analogy. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So what do we do? Right here where you are, in your family, in your home, in your neighborhood, in your church, in the warehouse, in clubs, wherever you are, you take one bite at a time. One kid, one bit of a relationship, one hour of sharing, one 15-minute exchange. All of these things are bites out of a big elephant. If it's 50 million teens in the United States, I imagine that there's, I don't even know, what, a billion around the world? It's a lot. And the number doesn't frighten me because I'm thinking that in the next few minutes, I'm getting ready to go into one of our clubs in the next few minutes. And I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to encounter a few kids. And I'm going to share my life with just a few kids. And so what am I doing? I'm just taking responsibility, and I'm being accountable, and I'm having the big vision in mind while remembering that spells out that every one of those kids needs to hear the gospel. Every one of those kids needs to be discipled. Every one of them needs an opportunity to make an informed decision. And I'm just going to go after my part today. I'm not going to worry about the 50 million, but I am going to keep them in view because every one kid is part of that number here in the U.S. And so when I think about the vision of Youth for Christ, I love it. It's so big. It's a vision that only God could do. And if we're going to pursue it, if we're going to chase it down, if it's going to be important to us, then we're going to have to commune with God. We're going to have to depend on God. We're going to need God in a big way to accomplish His vision. So this is where it starts for us with every kid. And where does it start for us particularly? Every kid in Person County. Every kid. Every single kid. And we're going to go after them. It's several thousand here. It's roughly 4,200 kids in this county. And we're going to go after every one of them. That's where our vision starts. And we boil it down like this. Every kid that comes to this club today. Every kid that comes to the club tomorrow. Every kid that comes to the club the next day. Every kid that comes to the warehouse. And so this huge vision that seems and feels overwhelming just becomes a matter of a series of taking little bites, being responsible for that bite, And guys, we can be part of the every if we'll just be responsible, be accountable, and take that bite ourselves. Are you guys ready? Let's begin pursuing this vision of every young person. Hey, thanks for listening, and be ready for installment number 2.